Hello, it's Mike back once again with tip number 70 from our top 100 tips, tools, and life lessons from the Insight One Awakening Heart Seminar. And we're going to build off of our last tip, really look at this relationship between the conscious self and the basic self as it relates to us making and keeping our agreements. As you know, the basic self, which is really our physical body, is also the manager of our energy. And so it watches very closely in terms of where it places our energy. And it's come to be somewhat skeptical in terms of the words that come out of our mouth, unless we've been really good about matching our action with our words. And so it's watching all the time in terms of, is what you say you're going to do something you actually are going to follow through on? And when it sees us do that, when it sees us make an agreement, when it sees us speak something and make an agreement or give our word and then follow through, it naturally begins to build a sense of trust. So it begins to trust our conscious self. When we make an agreement, but we do not follow through, we break that agreement, it begins to not trust us as much. And so it begins to then manage our energy in a way that begins to pull back our energy, begins to pull the energy back because it says, I don't really believe you, so I'm not going to actually give you the energy to actually go after what you say you're going to go after because I actually don't believe you're going to take the action. And so that relationship begins to get out of alignment. And when that basic self no longer trusts us, it begins to pull back the energy. And this is why quite foundational, we're going to speak in one of the future tips around why it's so critical if you're going to do something to build a foundation to get yourself back to a place that you can take control of your life, that you can manifest some of the things you want to in your life, that you can go for your dreams, that you build off the foundation of trust across the high self, conscious self, and basic self, and particularly this relationship of trust between the conscious self and the basic self, which is built very clearly on when we make agreements that we follow through and keep those agreements so that relationship is strong. Otherwise, we can say we're going to do anything, and if our basic self doesn't believe us, it's not going to give us the energy to do it. We're literally not going to have the energy necessary to move us forward into action to make that happen. And so just spend some time, again, thinking about yourself. And as I mentioned on the last tip, sometimes we make certain agreements more important than others. Some feel big, some feel small. Some of us make agreements with others more important than agreements with ourselves. But remember, our basic self is listening to all of those. And remember, there's automatic rewards and prices depending on whether we keep our agreements or if we don't. Once again, thank you for listening. Check out what's happening at Insight Boston at insightboston.org, what's happening globally at insightseminars.org, and certainly check out what's happening in your local Insight community. Have a great day.